Hey, thanks for joining this channel. I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe. We need you to like and subscribe if you like the content that's being given. I'm just going to also ask you for one more favor. If this has added any level of value to you, I need you to send it to somebody. I want to have this conversation around men. I think we're living in a world that's fascinating with men. From podcasts that speak to men, everyone is interested in this specimen that's been created that holds so much challenges, that holds so much weight on their shoulders. We're fascinated. We're trying to unlock the code for a code we can't ultimately unlock. We're trying to figure out the model, and anyone that looks like they've achieved the level of success men want to be around because we want to know about this man code. And I want to spend some time to really just talk about a couple of points that I think is so critical, that men carry pressure quietly because applause was never a part of the assignment. Men carry pressure quietly because applause was never part of the assignment. If you're a man and you are out here grinding, you know you're not getting applauses. You know the fact that you came home should be celebrated because there are so many people that were in your DMs that were texting you that you had the opportunity, but you're trying to be disciplined in this season because you're about your assignment. And a lot of us are not getting the applause for the work that we're already giving. And a lot of us are giving up. We're not checking out physically, but we're checking out mentally. We're checking out being fathers, we're checking out being husbands because the weight is just too much. You're not getting the applause or the appreciation or the thank yous or you're doing a good job. And I want you to know that's part of the assignment. There's no applause to manhood. A man once said, your sons and daughters, they love mama day one, but your sons end up loving dad when they become a dad. So if you can live through the delayed gratification of being a father, you'll see the value of a father when your sons become a father. And that's true. I didn't see the value of my dad working two jobs, ensuring that I was in sports, ensuring that I was able to get to certain things. He wasn't able to be present because he was working, trying to make the money so that I can do these sports. But as a young man, I'm internalizing that as he's just not present. And men need to understand the assignment that they have. It's critical for us to grow and to become whatever we're called to become. But it's just not that strength doesn't eliminate emotion, it just hides it better. Some of our strongest men just learned how to hide emotion. We are strong, we are good at what we do, and because we're good at what we do, people assume that we don't need any help. Because we're used to carrying the weight and we're used to walking it up the stairs and we're used to dropping it out the front door and then going back down and carrying another load, the assumption is that you don't need any help, you got this. And we are struggling with divorce, struggling with drug use, struggling with all types of things because we can't carry it. They said heavy is the head that wears the crown, and the crown is so heavy for many of us, we don't even know what to do with it. We're still trying to wrestle and figure out how to navigate being a single man, how to navigate trying to be a husband, how to navigate trying to be a son, and the dualities of roles that we are forced to walk and to do, and we're struggling. And sometimes the struggle ends up finding out, it gets leaked on the front page of social media, it gets tweeted in a group text, it gets posted on X, it's DM'd to other people because strength is not strength all the time. And some of us are just good at hiding the fact that we are leading while bleeding. But not just that, y'all. I have that men don't lack feelings. They just lack permission to voice them. And men really do not have outlets to where they can express their feelings. Even when you're talking with your boys about things that you've accomplished, you'll find your homeboys don't oftentimes have the emotional intelligence to create the space to let you finish your conversation because they're just not comfortable. They don't know how to navigate with you about certain subject areas because it's hard for them. They don't get it. They don't see it, they don't know it, and they don't understand the why. But as brothers, it's a real task that we are dealt with. We need spaces to where we can voice ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with going to therapy, because therapy helps us realize that we're not in this by ourselves. There's no manual on how to do life. Specifically, there's no manual on how to do your life. So it's critical that we find spaces to not just open ourselves up and cut ourselves in front of people who don't have the power to heal us. We need to be able to cut ourselves open to people that have the desire and the tools and know what to do with the tools, because sometimes we're opening ourselves up to someone who has the desire. They got the scalpel, but they don't know how to use it. So instead of it being a tool to help and a tool to heal, it's now a tool to hurt. Yeah, I think the last one, y'all, I found that I wrote down is the weight men carry is often invisible because complaining was never modeled. Like if you grew up with a father like mine, he just worked, he did what he did. I did not grow up around a dad that was telling about the challenges of life. I didn't grow up around a dad that's telling us about the challenges that he faced. Like, we ended up learning about them. And my dad was a good dad, still around, has served us well, done everything that he could to make sure we are good. But there are some areas that his generation didn't go through and they didn't have to navigate that we have to navigate through. And sometimes we recognize that we are trying to figure it out, listening to voice guidance, but then we get confused because we take wrong roads and then the voices sound different than what we're familiar with. And it's hard for us to trust a stranger when it was even harder for us to trust those that were familiar. And so as a man, I just want to sit and have this discussion because it's been a famously coined phrase, that when you are born, you look like your mom and dad, but when you die, you look like your decisions. And ultimately, we all have to make decisions each and every day. And we want to make sure that we finish our race better than what we started it.